Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our continuing coverage of the 7th annual Super Smash TV tournament here on GG Speedruns. Tonight, we have got an elimination showdown between Tetsuoooo and Skunky48. Hi, everyone. I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23. Joining me on the commentary, two-time Easy Percent tournament champion Brisulph. Very exciting matchup between two fine runners. I'm looking forward to this one.
I am as well. It's two runners in double-digit seeding, but as we've discussed, the deepest tournament we've ever had in the history of the Easy Percent over these 7 years. Should be a heck of a matchup today, and I got to say, Cards, who you got taking this match?
Well, this is a tough one. I mean, they are both capable of throwing some lightning times here in tournament race, but I think I'm going to go with the one who's got a little bit more experience, the one that is more seasoned. I think it's going to be Tetsuoooo in 6 games.
I'm going to tell you, I was very down on Skunky's play in the previous round versus RNG's. Got the W. That's the important thing. We'll have to wait and see, but unless there's a little better clean firing lanes, I'm going to have to agree with you. I still think this is Tetsuoo's match to lose. But Mutoid Man, a fickle beast when it wants to be, could swing things. It's a tight matchup. Although I think whoever wins this one, it's going to go the distance.
Oh, absolutely indeed. I would love to see this go the distance. We're going to find out within the next hour. Here we go. Game number 1 between Tetsuoooo and Skunky48. Yes, we are down to our final 8 here in this year's Super Smash TV tournament. And yeah, you're absolutely right. We got the 9, 10, 11, and 13 seeds. We've got the mid-range underdogs as you were representing. So you'll love to see it. But for one of these two runners, their dream comes to an end tonight.
And we are indeed underway here. It looks like it's going to be pretty close. 39 versus basically a 39. It's a less than a second here. Negligible, if you will. Let's see what the opening drops here are, Cards.
Yeah, big time drops here, hoping for both runners here. A Razor Shield for Skunky, a nuke for Tetsuoooo.
Small advantage to Skunky, getting a spreader to fall off. The shield breaking kind of sucks, and there's Tetsuoooo coming back. But look at this, rockets now for Skunky.
Great drop there. He could ride it the rest of the way potentially if he's got good firing lanes. But yeah, Tetsuoooo not really getting anything to complement that Razor Shield. So unless Skunky makes a mistake here, I would imagine he's going to come out of this room ahead. And indeed he will. This is a good time, 79.
Very solid 79, but Tetsuoooo with a well-played room out in under 82 seconds. Very well done with what was given.
Yeah, he's only 2.5 seconds back, but neither player has the orb. And somehow Skunky did not get picked off by that shrapnel just now, as he has a Razor Shield with the spreader. Grenades now for Tetsuoooo. He is fishing for a weapon. Those rockets will definitely help him out.
Tetsuoooo got a little rough there, but managed to keep that eat my shrapnel count of shrapnels under 4. And that's important. Why, Cards?
Well, 18 of the Mr. Shrapnels that we have to take out. A maximum of 4 can be on the screen at every point. If there's more than 4, then, well, you can't have more than 4, but if there's 4 on the screen, you're going to start to bleed time. And Skunky is out of the room first. No, it's a tie, a 204 each.
Oh, boy. So Skunky giving up a couple seconds there, just not able to do anything. Still no orb in this opening run here. I wonder how both are feeling. The time is okay, but not seeing that orb yet has got to be a little frustrating.
They both must feel that they're behind, but right now this is anybody's game. Advantage though for, well, as I say that, Skunky gets a Razor Shield of his own, so.
And then a spreader.
Wow, man, equal opportunity drops. You know what I want to see, and I don't know if this has ever happened in tournament play. I want to see no orbs, period, in game number 1.
It's happened a few times. I know it happened at least once last year, but it is a frustrating experience, I got to think, for both runners. But they continue to not see it, and this is great rocket fire from Tetsuoooo. Very, very tight movement.
I expect he may come out of this room in the lead, and indeed he will. Good nuke for Skunky, but not good enough to finish the room. A 257 orbless. That's an insane time there, Brisulph.
Did a very good job of that. As you can see, Skunky definitely giving up some time here. 7 or 10 seconds and counting now.
Oh, it's going to be about 14 seconds with the 311. I mean, did the best he could with what the game gave him. Tetsuoooo had the better weapons, but he also had better firing lanes than Skunky as well.
His rocket firing lanes and choices were very efficient. That's what opened up this mammoth lead. Let's see, a grenade to start. Going to grab it.
Yeah, be able to get the gunner on the right. Now he's got a spreader in a bad spot, but he's able to pick it up without getting picked off by the foot soldiers. Fouled up with a foot, and he is finally picked off. Skunky gets an invulnerability. That's going to be fine to take down one of the gunners.
Now gets a spreader on the top. Should be easy enough. Got to watch out for the swarmers and that shrapnel. Well done. Back to the middle and rockets for Tetsuoooo.
But look at this. Skunky gets the first orb, 355 in. May have a chance to cut into that lead, but rockets for Tetsuoooo might neutralize that.
At this point in the festivities, yeah, those rockets really, really helped. One more weapon for Tetsuoooo would be fantastic.
And Skunky drops his orb, so Tetsuoooo definitely going to maintain that lead.
Rockets.
He can grow. Yeah, rockets. Razor Shield for Skunky. Would have loved to have had that with the orb still intact. A 420 for Tetsuoooo. He does get a replacement orb. Let's see what the damage is going to be for Skunky as he's going to try to finish up that room, and it is going to be an 12-second lead for Skunky, or for Tetsuoooo rather, 432.
So a small cut there in time, only a couple seconds. But Tetsuoooo going orbless here, looking to potentially drop a sub-6. I don't think we've had a sub-6 orbless yet in the tournament.
That is very possible. Let's see if Skunky can get the ball buster. Yes.
On the move, ball buster, very aggressive. Well played, gets the refill of the lobbers as well.
This is anybody's game as we see a spreader on the player 2 side. An empty drop though for Tetsuoooo could give Skunky a chance here if he can get some manuals in. He got a few.
Ooh, I don't know how he didn't get run over there. Well played. Trying to get the key now without dying, does it?
Yeah, he's hoping for an invulnerability to show up. He does get run over, but get most of that clip in, and we'll get those rockets anyway. So good manuals there from Skunky. This is pretty close.
Some good stuff. Unfortunately, get clips in there, but pick the lobber up. It worked out in the end.
It is still a Tetsuoooo lead, but that lead is not very much. We're talking probably half a form, and Tetsuoooo now with some not great weapons. Skunky with another lobber refill coming up here. He's missing some shots, though. Not able to capitalize and try to cut into this Tetsuoooo lead.
Skunky's got the lead right now, I tell you that, and there he does.
But there's a spreader chance. He's going to have to be manuals.
He's got a shrapnel to watch out for. He gets away with it.
Oh, final form for both. This is going to come down to the wire here, Brisulph. Skunky's missing some shots here. Can he finish it off with this lobber? He does at the last.
Gets it done at the very end. Slightly better weapons, and on top of that, a very gutsy manual at the mid-range part of the fight. And Skunky48 with a 614 draws opening blood.
Wow, impressive there. Skunky got him with the very last lobber there. 8.5 seconds is the difference. If he doesn't finish it off with that lobber, Tetsuoooo may have come out on top.
What if Skunky48 misses the last lobber shot? History will be made.
It's definitely going to be up there for sure, Brisulph. That was a great, exciting first game. I mean, considering we saw a total of 2 orbs, both on Skunky's side, just absolutely a battle of attrition between both. Tetsuoooo played the arena better, but sometimes playing a better arena just isn't enough, and that just happened to be the case in game number 1. I think Tetsuoooo is going to turn it around in game number 2. I mean, you can't have bad RNG dictate this entire match, but that's why they play the games, Bri.
I have to say, though, the way Tetsuoooo played it with what was dropping, really, really sharp. If the RNG equals out, as you say, Tetsuoooo should be in excellent condition.
But anything is possible. I mean, Skunky riding a great wave of momentum here. 12 seconds back going to the fight, ends up winning by about 8 seconds. So we'll see if he's able to ride the momentum or if Tetsuoooo can equalize and take game number 2. Considering the trends that we've had in this tournament, I wouldn't be the least bit shocked if Tetsuoooo won this game.
New prediction up on the channel will be underway momentarily. Game number 2 coming at you. Make your call with some channel points. And back who you think's gonna take it.
All right, here we go with game number 2. Skunky looking to take a 2-0 lead here on Tetsuoooo. Tetsuoooo looking to equalize and make it a best of 5. Here we go.
Both getting their Razor Shield to start, doing the manip at the start of the demo, so they just get it in a good spot. Both going with middle of the room strats here, pretty similar. Yeah,
so we'll see how this plays out at the very end here. And it is going to be, once again, Skunky with the hole shot, but again, negligible. I'd say half a second at best.
Very much. And Tetsuoooo, I don't know if he meant to, but missed the foot there. It could have been out a little sooner and had some foot speed to collect power-ups.
All right, here we go. Opening drops for both. An opening orb for Skunky. A complete 180.
Ooh, that's a beautiful thing. Skunky's got to love that. Opening drop, orb, and then back-to-back spreaders. So really dominating this room. Then rockets!
Man, Skunky getting all the goods here, and then a razor shield to go with it. He is getting everything here in collect powers. This could be a very, very good time if the firing lanes were good. And indeed,
he's been very off on those. It should have been much better than that. But still, a 78 there, Cards. And again, Tetsuoooo making do and finishing with a good rocket drop at 83 seconds.
Yep, 5 seconds, no orb, but yeah, rockets will help him start out with Eat My Shrapnel. Skunky doing fine with the orb. Not really getting anything to complement that orb here in Eat My Shrapnel, as Tetsuoooo is going to use the rest of those rockets, conserving the best that he possibly can. Good firing lanes, and is rewarded with an orb.
Sometimes I find that being, a little conservation of the rockets can actually be detrimental. But that time working out beautifully.
And more rockets that'll enable him to finish up the room and take some to total carnage. 202 for Skunky. And Tetsuoooo has gained about a second with the 206.
So hard to say where that time loss is coming for Skunky. Very odd. Second time in Eat My Shrapnel. I didn't see anything too out of sorts, but giving up some time.
It could have been the end of that room. Tetsuoooo did have rockets, and now he's got a razor shield. He may have a chance to cut into that lead and maybe take the lead. Rockets, though, for Skunky.
If the rockets keep flowing, the firing lanes can be a little rough, but good tap shooting thus far and good movement.
Yep, but it's a foot now for Skunky, as Tetsuoooo has still 3/5 of the razor shield left. And yeah, Skunky was getting overwhelmed there. Tetsuoooo doing a good job keeping those firing lanes good. A nuke chance for Skunky. We'll see if he uses it. He's not going to use it.
Not going to use it, and I will say he's overfiring his doors a little bit. That's part of the reason he's losing time here.
But look at this. It's a 3-minute flat for both, but Tetsuoooo taking a split-second lead.
I'd buy that for $1.
And for those wondering what I mean by overfiring a door, if you shoot extra shots at a door after the enemies are gone, you're wasting time. And Skunky is giving away tenths of a second at a time with overshooting almost every door. And that's why those enemies are also splitting out wide, and that is why they are getting in tight.
Yeah, every frame counts. This weekend, if you didn't see any of the races, we had a couple of photo finishes, including the first ever 1-frame difference. But Tetsuoooo loses his orb.
Drop there, and now rockets for Skunky, who actually kills the gunner on the way down, so can use all of these on the swarmers.
Well, that purple swarmer almost took away that orb there. Tetsuoooo really getting nothing. Now he's got some vitamin R. Skunky losing his orb now.
Yeah, he was, again, just not quite controlling it, giving an opportunity for that swarmer to get in close and take the orb.
Yep, and I would imagine Tetsuoooo is going to retain the lead, but here's another orb for Skunky, but can he get to it? That is a lot of maneuvering.
Oh my God, he blocked the shrapnel!
Wow! And then he runs into the mine. This run was Skunky's, but now it's mine, and with that, Tetsuoooo will extend that lead with a 4:16. Another orb for Skunky, his 5th already in this match. But the damage is already done, Brisulph. He's going to be trailing again by that same 12-second deficit.
Unreal. And a full spreader for Tetsuoooo, who can go for some guaranteed manuals. Got to worry about 2 gunners, and unfortunately, that was too much.
Yep, he's picked off by the gunners, but gets another spreader.
Oh, you love to see that of your Tetsuoooo. Can probably get to, yeah, indeed, both arms. Shot again here, but we'll get a key.
No ball buster for Skunky this time as he is flexed. He'll use the lobbers. Still both gunners are on there. That's concerning for both runners right now. Rockets now for Skunky. Grenades for Tetsuoooo. He'll rotate that lead, but here's a spreader chance.
For Skunky. Big opportunity here because Tetsuoooo.
Oh, but he went away from him, so he's going to lose a little bit of a chance there, but it's still going to be very good for Skunky as he's got the rib cage exposed.
Tetsuoooo gets run over going for the lobbers, and it's probably, I'd say, more or less a slight Skunky lead based on weapon drops. That next spreader is going to be mammoth.
Yeah, we got a glitch toid on Skunky's side, and indeed he has the lead right now. Rocket's coming up now for Skunky. A spreader in a bad spot for Tetsuoooo. Will he be able to get to that and try for some manuals? He does. He's looking for an invulnerability that would really help him out. It's a rocket. Good manuals though for Tetsuoooo.
Pretty
Skunky
solid.
got grenades, yeah, and because of that, he's taking the lead back.
It's dead heat, and right now Skunky will have a slight lead due to having weapon. Now Rockets, this is basically a tie right now.
Yeah, but an invulnerability for Tetsuoooo. That could be the dagger here. Skunky gets a spreader. That could be enough to finish off the
And
fight
now
here.
Nades, this is high DPS. Can he get it done on this weapon? He does! But who won? Oh my goodness!
Skunky did.
Gets the W with the blowout at the very end. That was wild.
Look at how close this is. A 6:14, a 6:15, a 1 second difference, Bri. Wow.
That heroic manual on Tetsuoo's side just wasn't quite enough. And again, despite trailing into the Mutoid Man room, Skunky again goes out the door with the W. It's 2-0, Skunky48.
The difference was that one empty drop that Tetsuoooo got. I mean, anything else, yeah, he wins this one thanks to those manuals there. My goodness gracious. Skunky again living and dying by the Mutoid Man fight. He was 12 seconds back in the first 2 games, and both times he has made up the deficit. And now Tetsuoooo really going to have to dig deep here in game number 3.
I mean, part of the going-ons here is just Tetsuoooo wants to see a bit better stuff and collect power-ups. It's hard working from behind like that. Both times has taken the lead into the Mutoid Man room, but I'd like to see a run where Tetsuoooo gets good stuff from the start.
John Phoenix thinking about a reverse sweep. You know, we really haven't had many reverse sweep opportunities in this tournament. I know Aquas had a 4-0 victory earlier in these best of 7 money rounds, but other than that, I don't think we've really had that kind of opportunity. Who knows? Might happen here tonight.
Well, Skunky48 would first have to win the 3rd game to even open up the possibility of a reverse sweep.
All right, but we'll see if Skunky can take and commanding 3-0 lead, or if Tetsuoooo can bounce back and get back into this match.
Good luck.
My goodness, we are underway. Game number 3 here, guys. Tetsuoooo on the left, Skunky48 on the right. It is 2-0 for Skunky48. And thus far, as you usually expect, Mutoid's been the decider. A bit of unexpected, though, has been Skunky's been playing it a bit better. The drops have been somewhat equal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Tetsuoooo had some amazing manuals in that second game, and, you know, he definitely deserved to have the opportunity to win that game. It just wasn't quite enough. He had that nuke there, the sabotage there.
Double nuke.
Wow. You don't see that very often. And despite that, Skunky is going to have the hole shot once again here with a 39.5. It's a low 41 for Tetsuoooo, so it's a 2.5 lead for Skunky after those 2 nukes.
So let's see how the opening drops go here. Skunky probably will see one first. It's a nuke on the feet. Tetsuoooo gets grenades. Neither one seeing anything good.
No, and then a foot for Skunky, a spreader for Tetsuoooo. That's something. A spreader for Skunky. So yeah, right now the drops a little bit on the dry side here in collect power-ups for game number 3. Neither player getting what they're hoping for. Razor shield late.
Yeah, a solid razor. You can use that offensively in this room.
But Tetsuoooo, he gets the first orb of game number 3. He hasn't seen many first orbs.
Very much. And as you can see, the Skunky making do there with what was given, and that razor shield really paying off. And Tetsuoooo is going to have his worst exit time with an orb in tow, though. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a 4-second lead right now for Skunky, but right now he has no orb, and this is a room that he's been losing time in.
While he's losing time this time, he used a nuke.
Right. That's about a 2 or 2 penalty there.
Usually about 1.5, but you know, what's the count between friends?
Exactly. So with that, you would imagine Tetsuoooo may even take the lead depending on how much. There's an all-important orb for Skunky to mitigate any further time loss.
Now it's just about some good control of the room. Take care of those shrapnels, take care of your orb, and make sure those swarmers go bye-bye in time.
That's exactly what he's done. It's a 2:09, but look at this. It's a 2:11 for Tetsuoooo, so that lead has been cut in half, 2 seconds.
So we are down to 2.5, and we'll see again if the firing lanes and the overfiring on Skunky's side will come into play.
There's a nuke for Skunky. Let's see if he decides to use it. He's going to ignore it and just going to have to dodge through the shrapnels. But right here in Total Carnage, they're getting a lot of carnage. A lot of nasty drops here. Nothing to really help them out at the moment. A nuke for Tetsuoooo. Skunky getting an invulnerability. So yeah, these drops have been hot garbage. Yeah, that was close call there.
Close call, double shrapnel explosion. Now Skunky handles it well. I gotta say, for the most part, it's been tight control of the middle. But again, as I've been saying, that overfiring doors on Skunky's side is costing him a little bit. Let's see if it bears fruit.
They did get some rockets just then, so yeah, we'll see how that plays out at the end of the room. And indeed, it is going to be a Skunky lead still. He's got a 306. Tetsuoooo has got a 309, so Skunky gained about a half a second as it's time for product placement. Oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell.
And I have to say to you, Cards, that's with the rockets cleaning up most of the shrapnels for him near the end of the room. Tetsuoooo had to manually clean up 2 of them, and to only lose half a second tells you, again, that Tetsuoooo had the overall better dispersal of fire.
Agreed. Now let's see what happens here in tank trouble. Skunky's been struggling in this room. Tetsuoo's been playing it very, very well. A nuke, nice. Rockets, though, for Tetsuoooo does have the advantage.
And managed to step around the shrapnel, no problem. Again, avoiding all 3 rockets for Skunky.
Right on the feet there for Skunky, and then follows that up with a spreader. So both players getting some good drops here so far in tank trouble. We'll see if it stays in play now. Skunky losing the orb again.
Yeah, he's just struggling a bit with things, and it's just getting in close with that extended extra amount of spawners.
All right, he does get some rockets, though, which, again, when you don't have an orb, that's a great drop to have if you can use them well. More rockets for Skunky.
He can go ham now. He can probably finish the room with this. It's going to be a 4-21 for Tetsuoooo, and we have a lead change. It's 4-24 for Skunky.
Yep, less than 4 seconds, so this is the closest he's been to the lead going into Mutoid Man fight. Let's see if he can make up just 4 seconds, or if the RNG luck can finally swing Tetsuoo's way. He does have a ball buster opportunity, but doesn't get it.
Tried it on the fly, could not hit it, will not get the refill. Let's see what the next drop is. Skunky, meanwhile, going with rockets here down the neck.
Yeah, and he got an empty drop as well. Unlucky there. So Tetsuoooo definitely has the lead, and now he might have a better lead.
Oh no, he's gonna not get it. It's too late.
And look at this. Skunky gets a great spreader opportunity and moves closer to him.
What a great setup for Skunky. Firing away.
Almost
great
got
step.
sabotaged.
Great
Good
step. He stepped away. Beautifully done by Skunky, and it's another glitch toy.
Back-to-back glitch toy mans for Skunky here, and he is poised right now to potentially take the lead. He does get zapped. If it's a spreader, this is over. A spreader though for Tetsuoooo, an empty drop for Skunky.
Fortunately, Tetsuoooo couldn't get much in, and I do see a question in chat. It's actually 2-0.
A spreader for Skunky.
Unbelievable. It's 2-0 for Skunky48 in this match. The second key is not on screen right now.
Final form for Skunky. He's got a lobber. I don't think he got much transfer damage. The head pops off for Tetsuoooo.
He's got enough. He's got enough right now, honestly.
That's it. He's done it, and that could be a sub-6 for Skunky.
It's going to be close. It's either a 5.59 or a 6. Let's see what we get. And it's going to be 3-0 Skunky48.
And it is a sub-6 for Skunky, and Tetsuoooo once again on the short stick of the Mutoid Man RNG had a 4-second lead, and again is going to lose time. It's a 12.5-second loss for Tetsuoooo, and now is back firmly against the wall. But John Phoenix was asking for it. Now that does set up for the reverse sweep opportunity here.
And indeed, missing that spreader that was hidden underneath Mutoid's shoulder. Tetsuoooo didn't realize it had been there for a little bit. I didn't realize it. I don't think you did either, Cards. And all of a sudden, it disappeared, and the match swung like that.
Absolutely. Yep, that was the difference right there. Your TSN turning point of this match right there.
Which shows that it can get by anybody at any time. It just was such a crucial point for Tetsuoooo. Now down 3-0. It's going to have to dig deep, but remember, you don't win 4 races by winning, you don't win them all at once. You got to win the first one to win the second one, to win the third one, to win the fourth one. So that's right. Panic. You one race at a time.
Survive and advance. That's what you are always saying, Brisulph, and that's what Tetsuoooo is going to have to do. one game at a time. He's certainly capable of doing so. His arena gameplay is definitely good enough to give him the opportunity. It's just the Mutoid Man luck has got to change, and has got to change right now. Otherwise, he's going home in 4.
I mean, Skunky, again, people always say, the races always swing on Mutoid. They always swing on Mutoid. Well, in this case, they really are. Skunky is getting an above average amount of spreaders near the door and is taking advantage. That's all you can do as a runner. When it's your day and you can take advantage, great. But I'll tell you now, those spreaders disappear. Skunky's going to be in a lot of trouble with the regular arena play being much worse than Tetsuoooo.
Yeah, especially when he gets into the later rounds of the second chance bracket, because it's not going to get any easier from here on out. And you know that.
100%. And remember, Tetsuoooo or Skunky48 will advance to face one of the losers of the top half of the bracket. I think there might be a smidge of a break going on here. So why don't we preview the upcoming matches this week? We actually have all of the matchups, the 4 that could be scheduled, already scheduled, and they will be done by Wednesday night.
That is correct, and we're going to talk about those matches right now while we're on a little bit of a break here. Tomorrow night here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Central, we have our very own Brisulph here in the commentator's booth taking on Telio1 in the winner's semifinals. And then we have Wednesday night starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got our very own Mr. Dino taking on our Rookie of the Year, Hefeman82, in the second chance bracket. And then afterwards, we have the last of our winner semifinals between the runner-up, the 2-time runner-up, CHX42 and Aquas. So very exciting matchups coming up your way the early part of this week. Should be a lot of fun.
I would actually add to that, CHX, the only 3-time podium finisher in tournament history, 2 silvers and a bronze, looking to complete the collection this year, having the world record, looking invincible, but has a heck of a matchup waiting in Aquas. So love to see that. And by the way, whoever advances out of this match will get the loser of that match. How's that for a reward?
Well, that is some kind of reward. And that's why I mentioned, if Skunky does advance to the next round of that second chance bracket, he's definitely going to have to polish up his arena gameplay, because regardless of who is sent down there, their arena gameplay is, one of the best in the business, both of them.
Absolutely. And the Mr. Dino Hefe Man matchup, of course, that means that the winner of that match will face off with the defeated party in the Telio1 Brisulph matchup. And of course, the winner of the top 2 up top are playing for a spot in the finals. So that could be coming as early as this weekend, any of those matchups.
Definitely.
Awesome. Oh, it's going to be good stuff.
All right, so let's see if we can get both of our runners ready here for game number 4. It is a must-win for Tetsuoooo. If he loses, he is done for the tournament, and Skunky will move on to the quarterfinals of the second chance bracket.
Looks like Skunky's just setting up now. We were saying in 6 or 7. Right now, we just want to see if we can get to a game 5. Skunky48 with what would you call this? Quadruple match point?
It is quadruple match point. You most certainly are correct there, Brisulph.
So Skunky just looking to go, okay, if I have a bad one, just shake it off. I'm going to get another shot. Tetsuoooo thinking, I got to be careful I don't play myself out of this. If the game won't let me compete, that's one thing. But I can't make that mistake.
Exactly.
But if you make the mistake, you can't let it tilt you.
Then that's the key for Tetsuoooo of winning game number 4. He can't let these 3 close losses tilt him, because he's played very well. He could easily be up 3-0 himself. It's just not worked out that way. Tetsuoooo just needs to keep playing his game, just not worry about the score, play his own game. He's been very consistent throughout this entire match. If he keeps this up, he's bound to be rewarded sooner or later.
And indeed, there was a best of 5 Tetsuoooo reverse earlier in this tournament. We don't count those. Best of 7s are the only real reverse. And you know who's saying one game at a time? Oh, it's only 40-watt range. The only person to ever reverse sweep in a best of 7.
That is correct. Still the only contestant to do so. I mean, obviously there's not many opportunities for that reverse sweep, but we have it right here, and it could be some history if Tetsuoooo were to come from behind. Well, he's off to a good start with the orb.
Razors for both, not super crucial in this room, but much more crucial for Skunky, not having seen an orb yet.
Indeed, but there's an orb right there, so we'll see how this plays out. It's going to be close, but Skunky should still have the lead with an 80 versus an 81, so Tetsuo cut a little bit into that Skunky lead. It's 1 second.
So this room should be, if all things are equal, about a 1 second lead, but Skunky has been dropping time in this room, so let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, he's been dropping time in this room all 3 games so far, so if you were to drop time, you may see a Tetsuo lead coming out. Watch out for those grenades. But with this Razor Shield, unless there's like a weapon discrepancy at the end, Skunky should maintain that 1 second lead.
You would think so. It's been very cleanly played by both. No real misadventures or just adventures in general, and that's what you want to see. And it's going to be about a second, so maybe like a half second with that last kill, but otherwise well played.
Yeah, I think also the Razor Shield burn off cost Skunky a little bit as well. But yeah, they both played it equally good. Rockets to start for Skunky.
Very nice to have. You can just kind of clean up the room quickly. But Tetsuo with the pea shooter doing a great job of controlling things.
And he's been doing that all night so far, Brisulph. Skunky gets a spreader, so the weapons have favored Skunky here in Total Carnage. And now more Vitamin R. Oh, that was close.
It was close. He had
again close.
He had to dance around the mine and the swarmer. Got it done, but living dangerously. Skunky48 keeping things locked down.
Man, he is getting overwhelmed here. Holly has not lost the orb yet. He's bound to lose it sooner or later, and he has to keep it intact for tank trouble here. Spreader to close out the room, so he'll have something to take with him to tank trouble. Nice nuke there for Tetsuo.
Great nuke. So kept it even. Skunky with, remember, 2 rockets, and all he got out of the room was a tie.
Yeah, absolutely it was a tie. You better believe it. So yeah, Tetsuo continues to outplay Skunky in the arena despite the game's RNG crapping on Tetsuo. He's made the most of what the game has given him, but eventually that Mutoid landlock is going to have to change. It's going to have to change in this game. What is the first drop? It's a dude for Skunky, a Razor Shield, big time advantage for Tetsuo.
That was the best start of the room for Skunky. Just got a gunner, got back to the middle, got the drop, doing things, and then as I say this, swings the orb into a swarmer. Oh no!
Unlucky there. He tried to get back into the middle of the room there and just swung that orb right into that foot soldier.
He wanted a foot there, and a tank almost got him there.
All right, rockets though for Skunky. Watch out for that shrapnel. He is able to dodge it. But yeah, Tetsuo with rockets of his own now is going to come out of this room with the lead. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Barring a disaster, he's got that lead again, and it's going to be a solid time, about a 4:14 it looks like.
Yep, definitely a solid time there. Skunky trying to finish up the room. And I'll tell you what, again, he's trailing, but he's only trailing by about 7.5 seconds.
So gave up about 8.5 seconds there in that room. Losing the orb early, not that bad, so must have had just enough drops to get there. Let's see, can Tetsuo get a ball buster?
Got it.
And needed it because back-to-back.
Oh, Skunky grabbed the lobber and lost it.
No, it was a key. It was back-to-back keys to open. Oh, sorry, Tetsuo, pardon me, did that.
Right. Skunky gets rockets, and he had a spreader, so he was able to get some good damage off of that. Lobbers now, he's got the lead. Finally looking like the RNG might be on Tetsuo's side as he's widening that lead now.
He is laying it down. Another spreader here, and this is over.
Yeah, one more spreader. We're going to have a game number 5.
As it is still lining up pretty good for Tetsuo. Skunky only having popped an arm, gets a lobber. Head pop there for Tetsuo. Has to take the vulnerability.
There's a spreader for Skunky, but will it be blocked?
It's not. It's purple.
It is.
4,
3, 2, 1. Same level 3, and that could be the block that sends Tetsuo to game number 5.
He didn't say the magic word.
Final form. Tetsuo in great shape here to take game number 4 and extend it to a 5th game.
And looking good to do it. Sub 6 definitely in play. This rocket might be enough. We need him to blow up soon, though. And gets it!
That is a sub.
Another sub 6. And Tetsuo plays honestly a great game and gets a really good spreader, takes advantage, and there's a sub 6 for Tetsuo. It's 3-1 Skunky.
558 for Tetsuoooo, and yep, finally the Mutoid Man luck soured on Skunky, and it shined upon Tetsuoooo there. That was a 4:14, so a minute and 44-second Mutoid Man fight. Solid performance there for Tetsuoooo, and finally he gets awarded for his great gameplay. He is still alive, Bri.
That's all you want to hear if you're Tetsuoooo. You got game 4. Now you worry about game 5.
All right, Skunky, you looking to just wrap this up or no?
Finally said, you know what? It's fine. I don't want to waste any RNG at this point. Just going to get restarted. We'll get them underway here for game number 5. 3-1 Skunky48. And, you know, that spreader might be one of the biggest teases I have ever seen over 7 years of this tournament. Lined it up perfectly to grab it and just go immediately into the damage, and then last second, nah, I'm good, I'll keep going.
Yep, and I don't know if Skunky would have been able to come back from that. It would have been close, but that block right there prevented any kind of comeback effort for Skunky, and Tetsuoooo very much alive in this match, and RNG a fickle mistress. Is this the tide that turns for Tetsuoooo to make a comeback effort and maybe, just maybe, do the unthinkable?
Well, it's the near unthinkable because it has happened once. But regardless of that, again, the regular arena play for Tetsuoooo, getting a lead. And I've always said, you're not going to win in the regular arena, but you sure as heck set yourself up for success because you get extra pulls on that RNG slot machine. And it's finally paying out for Tetsuoooo.
Oh, it most certainly is. So let's see if he can continue to ride the momentum or if Skunky can find a way to shake it off and win the match right here. It's still triple match point for Skunky48, but I think that game, Skunky might be thinking about that one. Here we go with game number 5.
I got to say, I think if Skunky's thinking about anything, it's just got to be, I got to clean up my tank trouble because it has been just awful for Skunky.
All right, both have their razor shield manipulations in good shape. Skunky has pretty much had the hole shot all games up to this point. We'll see if Tetsuoooo can get his first hole shot of the match.
Great nuke there for Skunky, but it should be, it's actually the nuke will snake it for Skunky.
So 5 games, 5 hole shots for Skunky. And it's not that Tetsuoooo has played the first room poorly. It's just that Skunky has played it better and has probably been a little bit luckier as well. But is what it is. It's a negligible lead for Skunky. The opening drops, foot and a nuke. Nothing to write home about for either.
Skunky going to go with the ignore the nuke. There's 2 schools of thought on that. Neither one's really wrong. Just either leave it or grab it quick. Those are your 2 options.
Yeah, and since it was in a really bad spot, I think he made the right move to ignore it.
And they're still kind of fishing around. We finally get something really good as they both get orbs.
Yeah, the orb was on the feet there for Skunky. Tetsuoooo got his orb as well, so... And look at this. It is going to be a Skunky lead with a 123. Tetsuoooo a little bit back with a 127, about 4 seconds.
Very much. And again, let's see if that, it's about 3.5 to 4. So let's see what Skunky has leaving the room versus Tetsuoooo, assuming no misadventures.
There's a rocket for Skunky, and he's able to get that, but he's missing shots. All right, the room did not get to 4 Mr. Shrapnels, so he shouldn't be bleeding time.
Both doing a good job here. Just, you know, stay in the middle, take it out. Don't go running around. Don't put yourself in bad spots. They're doing their job. So Skunky should be out about 206. Tetsuoooo should be out about 209, roughly.
All right, that should be the last one. It is a 206 indeed. Yeah, the Rockets again. Still a 3.5 second lead. He might have gained a sliver just because of that rocket.
Sliver, yeah. No,
let's just call it even, yeah.
Skunky played that really well, was on top of when to leave the room. His best eat my shrapnel. Let's see if he can follow that up with his best total carnage and then his best tank trouble.
That's what he's looking for here. Again, those swarmers getting uncomfortably close to that orb, Bri.
He's being a little too focused one door at a time. Sometimes you got to spread those shots out. Pick up the stragglers later.
And almost the swarmer gets him again. Tetsuoooo still doing a really good job keeping control of the middle. Yeah, those firing lanes have been crisp all night. Skunky has been struggling here in this particular total carnage. Rocket's in a trap spot for Tetsuoooo. He's going to ignore it.
Yeah, I think he's just going to stay out of that. You can't risk the death at this point for that.
Nice nuke there for Skunky. It closes the room, a 301.
Very nice. He got it done. And as you can see, Tetsuoooo just got nothing. And has been the whole time shooting. And it's going to be a mammoth lead here for Skunky. 10 seconds more.
10 seconds. Contested 2. That's who your leader is right now.
Well, contestant 2 going to grab the question mark. We'll never collect 4 more. Moving on to tank trouble. Well, let's see what the opening drop is. Will Skunky's run of good RNG continue? Opening drop is an invulnerability in a bad spot. Just going to ignore it.
Yeah.
And he didn't get either gunner. This is going to be a dicey start.
I agree. We'll see if this is the opportunity. A rocket, though. Wow, great dancing there from Skunky, but he's not. Now he's got the gunners out.
Meanwhile, Tetsuoooo getting an invulnerability in a worse spot and loses the orb. Oh no!
Wow, the first real mistake we've seen on Tetsuoo's side in this entire match. I mean, he's been playing exceptionally well, but it's just one of those times, got a little bit overwhelmed. Rockets, can Skunky get it without getting picked off by the mine? Yes.
Great approach. Came up the side, made sure to be safe. More rockets. Skunky setting up here for a booming finish, just needs to kill the end of the room.
Yep, and he finishes it off. He's got the lead with a 416. That lead's gonna grow.
I can't imagine. The rockets will help for Tetsuoooo, but yeah, has been without an orb most of the room, and this is the only part where the drops have been decent.
All right, so now let's see what happens with Skunky taking a lead going in the Mutoid, man.
432.
16 seconds. The ballbuster is successful, but it's an empty drop for Skunky. There's a lobber.
So no orb for Tetsuoooo coming in. Tetsuoooo really gets a spreader chance. We'll be able to get a little bit of manual maybe, but both gunners intact. It's going to be tough.
And he does get shot. First arm pops off for Skunky.
And it's an invulnerability was the draw.
Tetsuoooo in trouble here. Second arm pops off for Skunky, and he gets another lobber. He's right on the lobber train with that consistent damage. That's all you can ask for at this point. Tetsuoooo needs a spreader, and he needs it soon.
Great use of the bank off of the right wall. Not a common move, but understanding the angles. But yeah, over a form behind right now. And Skunky continuing to just get lobbers.
This is fine. The old school strats here, Brisulph. You love to see it. I feel like
key for Tetsuoooo.
This is looking grim. As we're on the penultimate form on Skunky's side, he is out of another lobber. Lobber for Tetsuoooo, but he needs a spreader now.
There's a key for Skunky, but he can ignore it. He's got enough lobber to last here. We'll be able to see the next drop fairly easily as this lobber runs out.
And final form for Skunky, but it's an empty drop. A spreader for Tetsuoooo. He's going to have to manual it. Another empty drop for Skunky. The game's trying to steal
Another spreader, but will it be too little too late?
I don't know. We'll see. Another lobber for Skunky. He's missing some shots. Final form is going to be coming up for Tetsuoooo.
If he doesn't die, this is enough for Skunky. He'll be able to finish it here.
Can he finish it off? Few more shots. He does!
Unbelievable. All those empty drops for Tetsuoooo and dropping the orb in tank trouble. We've been giving Skunky heck for bad arena play the whole way through, but then his best arena got him a big lead in a match where his opponent made the mistake.
Yep, a 6-19, and I agree with you. That was his best arena gameplay this entire match. Skunky48 perseveres and wins it in 5. I don't think many people expected this one, Bri, but GG to Skunky.
I mean, sometimes it's lucky to be good and good to be lucky, but in the end, Skunky plays his best race of the match and just shows, you know what? I can play this game, guys. Don't doubt me.
Yep, so he is moving on to the second chance bracket quarterfinals, where he will take on either the number 2 seed CHX42 or the number 6 seed Aquas. My goodness gracious, that was some kind of match. Up until that tank trouble, Tetsuoooo had played practically near flawlessly in the arena all match, but the one time he makes the mistake in tank trouble, he pays the ultimate price. And it didn't help that he had so many empty drops early on either in Mutoid Man.